Good morning. It is Friday, January 13th, 2023. Coming to you with today's vlog. So sometimes I fall asleep with the TV still on. This morning, I woke up to an episode of Frasier, the sitcom. I guess it was on in the late 90s. Let's see. 1993 to 2004. I had no idea it started in 1993 because I remember the character of Frasier on Cheers. I remember watching it with my mom in the 80s when I was quite young. So I'm aging myself, which is actually partially the theme of today's contemplation for me. In this episode of Frasier, Frasier was lamenting that he was 41 years old, and I don't know if I saw the part of the episode that kind of set him off, but he was feeling a little bit it was like he was entering into this crisis phase, this sort of midlife moment, like 41 years old, midlife, and he was reflecting on what that meant to him. And of course, he doesn't really want to claim that he might look like he's that age, and he doesn't want to claim that he may act like he's that age. And I'm laying there having just woken up and realizing, well, I'm 40. So this episode of this television show that was on when I was 11 years old, I'm now seeing it again. Of course, if I saw that episode from that early age, I would have thought, oh, this is not relevant to me. I would have received it in an entirely different way than I did this morning when I realized this show is suggesting that I am a middle-aged person and that I'm approaching this over-the-hill phase. I know anybody at least this age or older is going to relate to this feeling that I'm expressing, which is that I don't feel middle-aged. Is this how a middle-aged person is supposed to behave? Am I doing what what the culture says that I should be doing at this age? Of course, you know, I'm an unconventional person, and I don't necessarily subscribe to conventions and shoulds and all of that stuff, but I do find it interesting. And in a way, the perpetuation of the species and the culture sort of, not mandates, but in order for things to progress and perpetuate, as human beings mature, we sort of occupy different spaces and take on different roles, and you get the picture of that. It's just sort of, there's a natural progression of how you serve society as you age. So I still feel like a very young person, and in fact, professionally and socially, I'm still drawn toward youthful stuff, like avant-garde, vital, like exciting, like not stagnant or static. I don't know. So perhaps I'm not behaving as a 40-year-old should, but perhaps also that means that I'm creating a new tone, or I'm participating in creating a new tone around aging and middle age, or perhaps it's not even middle age anymore. There's some interesting thoughts and ideas in the human design system about the phases of life in the new Uranian age, and the suggestion is that after the discovery of Uranus and kind of the movement into the Industrial Revolution, and this age that we're in, where we have access to all this science and information, and food is more abundant, and all this, that humans are living a lot longer, obviously. And as a part of that, the these how do I say? There's a instead of human beings becoming adults when they're 18, the suggestion is that perhaps we should start looking at age 30 as sort of the beginning of the second phase of life. And then age 50 is the real flowering. And all of that feels right to me. And in the human design system, I'm a 6'2" profile, which there's a relationship between the 6'2" profile and sort of the demonstration of this new 3-part life process where from birth till age 30 is sort of this information gathering experimental phase. And then from age 30 to about 50 is sort of retreat and integration, maturation phase. And then at age 50, you're really called out in your fullness into service in culture and society. And that's just a brief overview of this idea. As human beings live longer, I mean, in order for me to be middle-aged right now, I would have to expect that I'm not going to live past 80. But I have every expectation that I'm going to live long past 80. And maybe I will say the new middle age is 60 and I'll live to be 120. I mean, that's the trend. So I'm not going to be bothered too much by the Frasier episode's suggestion that I have entered the middle-aged period of my life. But I don't know, it was interesting. Another reference that this is reminding me of is John Mayer. One of his song lyrics, which he was in his heyday when I was in college and shortly after. So I'll always kind of remember him as a representation of that period. But he said, it might be a quarter-life crisis or just a stirring in my soul. And so he spoke those words when he was of a certain age, and now I think he's slightly older than I am. Let's see. Yeah, he's 45. So, and interestingly, I just listened to his new album. Don't remember the name of it, but his song lyrics, which are of course always brilliant, are sort of reflecting a different tone or attitude than the songs I remember from his youth. I like both, but for different reasons. So anyway, not a very coherent contemplation for today, but I think you understand the theme. Am I middle-aged? Does that have to mean anything? Am I supposed to be behaving a certain way because I'm old? Do you have any thoughts on this? If you are contemplating similar themes, I appreciate if you go ahead and post and participate in the conversation. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. Be careful on your Friday, January the 13th, if you're a superstitious person. And I will look forward to sharing with you again tomorrow.